Good evening, everyone. Today, let's discuss about online gambling in Indonesia. Imagine this scenario. Every time the government shuts down one online gambling site, two or three new ones seems to appear almost instantly. Online gambling is like a multi-headed monster. Cut off one head and another grows in its place. Yet if we just left it, it spreads uncontrollably, affecting more life and causing greater harm. Despite being explicitly prohibited by law, online gambling continues to thrive, exploiting the gaps in our regulatory system and the rapid advancements in technology. Today, we will talk more deeply into this paradoxical issue, exploring the challenges of government regulations and technological advancements while seeking effective solutions to this growing problem. I want to ask Meila, what do you think about this issue?
Now, from what Leah has explained, I would like to say that online gambling has an illegal nature as many platforms operate anonymously. They significantly complicate enforcement efforts, making it challenging for authorities to track or shut them down. Based on what I've read on the internet, over 800,000 gambling websites, new platforms quickly arise. They also often based overseas so they could evading local regulations. Then any online gambling site operators, they often doing domain switching or they changing their domain names that have been blocked by the government. So when the government closes or takes down one online gambling site, hundreds of others will arise quickly. That's making it hard to stop this spreading of this problem, right? Well, that's all I've got to say about this matter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mela. I guess from what you have said before, I think both of us can agree that this problem, online gambling addiction, is actually full of paradoxes, right? Because no matter how much the government try to shut it down, there will be another way that online gambling would appear on the surface, like people would find it anyway. And I think the problem that are full of paradoxes are definitely due to a systemic problems, like our government failed to provide us a prosperous society, and these situations only creates a form of society from a lower class that depends on instant income. I need to repeat it again. These situations only creates a society from a lower class that is so dependent on instant income. These situations only create psychological problems where our society tends to have poor self-control. They keep thinking that this gambling addiction will lead them to prosperity one day. Like one day, they will never. And I am sure they will never know and never realize that it's only an utopic concept, it's only a dream, because this is an addiction. This reminds me of the research of online gambling on 2022. I found that those who are trapped in online gambling, on average, initially because their mental attachment will ignore their physical health, and like because they are separated from the real world. In this study, it was also found that online gambling damages physical health through the formation of habits that makes its player less and less physically active, staying away from face-to-face social activities, and even leads to staying away from the outside world, like self-isolating. And this will goes back to the paradoxal I've mentioned before. poor mental and poor physical health actually leads them to be more and more dependent on this online gambling. Those who are dependent will fantasize about prosperity, which I already mentioned before, an utopic concept. In nature, they are will constantly trapped in that dark hole, dark loop that hoping this online gambling will make them prosperous. And I am so sure there will be many form of impact because this problem is actually systematic.
Yeah, I'm broadly agree with you guys. And as what you said, Shakila, on the other hand, this gambling problem can also have an impact on the psychological factors of each individual, such as triggering stress, sleep disorders, lack of exercise, or even causing other additional damage, such as becoming addicted to alcohol, drugs, or other destructive behavior that have great potential to damage a person's future. It's all because they lack attention to themselves. What they pay attention to is only about online gambling. They are putting aside their lives in the real world. They forget about their family, their friends, or even their dreams. And as we know in the article, much of them who involved in this case are in their productive age. Like, they are still teenagers. And I think that's so sad. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with what Ninis just said that the widespread accessibility of online gambling platforms in the digital era poses significant risk, especially for teenagers who are vulnerable to its negative impacts. And without adequate supervision and with aggressive promotions, many are drawn into gambling without knowing its risk and its dangers. And I think addiction to online gambling not only leads them to severe financial losses, but also disrupts emotional well being, family harmony, and then social relationships. And to address this, governments and then internet providers and then some communities must work together to restrict access and then to raise awareness about its risk and then support those who was affected. And a unified effort is essential to protect the younger generation from its destructive effects. And yeah, I think that's all my opinion. Thank you so much.
Actually, guys, I agree with your guys' opinion. Because besides of draining financial resources, as Danjur said, and increasing the risk of cybercrime, online gambling users will also face threats such as phishing, data theft, and fraudulent scams, which often come from platforms that are not legal. This should serve as an evaluation to the government on cybersecurity, as well as public awareness of the dangers of online gambling.
Thank you, Rere, and I agree with all of you guys. In my opinion, one of the reasons why online gambling is still massive in Indonesia is because by low public financial literacy. Although access to financial services is increasing, but understanding of money management and financial risk is still minimal. And this causes many individuals to be less prepared to face various financial risks, including the dangers caused by online gambling. Thank you.
For the solution of this gambling problem in Indonesia, first thing first, we have to block the access immediately and actively monitoring the gambling activities. Also, we can share the public awareness from education and campaign.
Add to the solution that Akila just said, we need a strong collaboration from the government and the citizen itself. Because recently there has been a news that relates directly to the issue of combating online gambling in Indonesia. The headline was Police record 1,000 gambling sites protected by Komdigi employees. The Indonesian police have reportedly identified and recorded 1,000 online gambling sites that were being protected by the employees of the Ministry of Communications and Information Technology. This news highlights a significant problem in the country's effort to curb illegal gambling, where even government employees were allegedly involved in facilitating and gaining profit in such activities. And to address these issues effectively, the government should immediately block access to these illegal gambling sites. This can be done through collaboration with the internet service providers to ensure that these sites are inaccessible to the public. And as Akila said, authorities must establish a system to actively monitor online gambling activities, and this could involve technological solutions, increased surveillance, and intelligence gathering to detect illegal gambling operations and networks. Last, as Akila said also, public awareness campaigns and education are critical to informing citizens about the dangers of gambling. These campaigns should educate people about the legal consequences and harmful social impacts of participating in illegal gambling activities. And this could be done through media, community outreach programs, and collaboration with schools and local organizations. And by implementing these strategies, the government can take stronger steps toward addressing the gambling issue in Indonesia and reducing its negative impact on society.
In conclusion, online gambling in Indonesia is difficult to control due to its illegal nature and the ability of platforms to operate anonymously and switch domains. It causes financial harm, exposes users to cybercrimes, and affects mental health by triggering stress, sleep problems, and harmful behavior like addiction. To address this issue, the government should consistently block gambling sites, monitor activities, and raise public awareness through education and campaigns. Improving financial literacy is also key to helping people understand risk and avoid online gambling. Solving this issue requires collaboration between governments, tech providers, and citizen or society. I want to thank everyone for this opportunity to discuss about online gambling in Indonesia. See you next time. Bye.